Hello guys, this is Sushant and we meet again in our MHCT mathematics section. I hope your study is going on well. Please keep up with your practice because there are only few days left for your MHCT exam. In this video, I'm going to combine the two chapters, that is my planes and lines in space. So let us see what are the things which are required to remember in this particular chapter and also the problems which are there in this chapter. So let's go. Okay, let's see some important points in this chapter. We are discussing first with lines in space. So if I want to represent my x-axis in a space, then it should be represented by this equation, that is y equals 0 and z equals 0. What you have to remember is whichever axis you are taking, then the other variables will be 0. Like if you are taking the z-axis, then x and y should be 0. Coming on to the next thing, this is called as a symmetrical form of a line in space. So if you have so if you know from what point the line is going to pass, that is x1, y1, z1, and you know either of them, that is you know the directional ratios or the directional cosines of it. So it will be x minus x1 upon the directional ratio or the directional cosine for the corresponding, like for x it will be L, for y is it M, and for z it is N. You have to remember one thing, this whole thing will be equal to R or M, where R, if it will be considered when you are considering your directional cosines, here the R is going to be equal to AP, which means basically the length of AP. So over here my PA is the point which is given by x1, y1, z1, and my P is the point which is the variable point which is your x, y, z. And your M will not be equal to that thing. Next is the 2-point form, that is if you know 2 points through which the line is passing through, let the points be x1, y1, z1 and the second point is x2, y2, z2, then this is a 2-point form. Then we can represent the line in the vector form also, where r bar will be given as a bar plus lambda b bar. Over here my a bar is nothing but the point of A, that is x1, y1, z1, and my b bar is nothing but the directional ratio of the line. So you can represent your a bar as x1i, y1j plus z1k, and your b bar is your b bar is ai plus bj plus zk. Over here b is nothing but the corresponding directional ratio of your y, it is not the magnitude of b. Next, if we are considering the perpendicular distance of a point from a line which is represented by this format, that is the symmetrical format, in which you will be knowing the point x1, y1, z1, which is the point on the line, and the point from which we have to find the distance is given by ABC. Then it is given by this particular formula, which is nothing but a minus x1 square. So corresponding b minus y1 and c minus z1 squares addition minus of L into a minus x1 m into b minus y1 plus n into c minus z1. If you are finding this difficult to remember, you can convert your equation, that is your lines equation, into the vector form, and this becomes a very simplified version of that equation. So here what you have to do is you have to represent your point which is ABC in the vector format which is given by alpha bar. So in this you have to convert your point ABC into the vector format alpha bar, and the distance formula is given by root of a bar minus alpha bar square, the magnitude of it, and the dot product of a bar minus alpha bar dot b bar divided by the magnitude of b bar, the square of it. If you just relate both of them, it's the same equation. If you just expand this, you will be getting the same thing over here. This is bit easy to remember rather than remembering this one. Moving on to the next one, the last one, that is the shortest distance. If I have two lines which are given to me, that is r bar, which is equal to a1 plus lambda b1, and the second line which is given by a2 plus lambda b2, then the distance between the two lines is given by then the distance between the line is given by the box product of a1 minus a2 comma b1 comma b2 divided by the magnitude of the cross product of b1 and b2. Over here you have to consider that your b1 and b2 are nothing but your directional ratios of the lines, and a1 and a2 are the points through which the lines are passing. Next, this thing is also can be represented as this particular if you are knowing the symmetrical form of the two lines. Coming to the topics on planes, you have to know that my xy plane will be given by the equation z equals 0. So for my yz plane it should be x equals 0, and my xz plane it should be y equals 0. Now this is my general form of equation. In this general form of equation, if I am having a is 0, that is there is no x term present, then that plane is parallel to x-axis. Correspondingly, b is 0, then y-axis, c is 0, then it is parallel to z-axis. If the last, that is the constant coefficient, is 0, then the plane is passing through origin. So this is my standard equation for a plane, that is my n dot r bar is equal to p. Here my n bar is nothing but a vector which is going to be normal to the plane, basically means it's perpendicular to the plane, and r bar is a variable vector. Over here my p value is nothing but the magnitude of the normal vector. This becomes my standard representation of a plane, wherein L, M, N are the directional cosines of the normal vector, and p is nothing but the same value, which is magnitude of n bar. One thing you have to remember, that if a plane equation is given in this format, then in that my ai plus bj plus ck is a vector which is going to be normal to this plane. Next is my normal point form. In normal point form, there will be a point which is lying on the plane which is having the coordinate x1, y1, z1. Then in that case my normal point form is given by this particular thing, wherein my ABC are the directional ratios of the normal vector. Next one, this is the 3-point form in which I am having 3 points which are lying on the plane. Let the points be A, B, C. They are lying on the plane with their corresponding coordinates known to me. Then P is the variable vector which is nothing but x, y, z. So I have to represent a box product of AP bar, AB bar and AC bar and equate it to 0. So that is basically going to be my 3-point form for a plane. Next one, if I want to find what is the angle between the planes, then I have to know the normal vector to the plane. So I will be having normal vector for one plane, that is n1 bar, the other plane, that is n2 bar. So my cos theta will be the dot product of n1 and n2 divided by the magnitude of n1 and n2. Next one, if I want to find whether the lines are coplanar or not, then I have to check for this condition, wherein I will be having my x1, y1 and z1, a point which lies on one of the line, x2, y2, z2, a point which lies on the other line. L1, M1, N1 are the directional cosines of the first line, L2, M2, N2 are the directional cosines of the second line. Then this particular determinant, if it is equated to 0, if I am getting it 0, then only I will be able to say that the lines are coplanar. Moving on to the next one. If I am having some plane which is given to me and it is dividing this particular line, then I have to find in which ratio it is dividing, then that will be given by this particular formula. So basically what I have to do is I have to just substitute x1, y1, z1 in this particular equation and get whatever values I am getting divided by the values for x2, y2, z2 in that equation. Then next one is, if I am given a line which is in this format and I am having a plane which is in this form, then the condition for the line to lie on the plane is it has to satisfy these two conditions. Then only I will be able to say that the line lies in the plane. Now whenever you are solving the questions which are based on your lines in space and planes in space, it is very much important to read the question properly. In the question itself, there are many hints which are given while solving so that you get the solution proper. So it would be advisable to read the question at least twice to understand it clearly what is given in the question. So let's see the first question, we have to find the equation of a line which is passing through this point, that is ABC, and which is perpendicular to the z-axis. Now the line which is required to us is perpendicular to z-axis, so it will have the directional cosines of L, M, 0. Next, we have to understand that it is going to pass through this point. So we know that it is my symmetrical form. My symmetrical form requires the corresponding points to be subtracted from the variable x, y, z. So in this case it should be x minus a divided by the directional cosine L, y minus b divided by the corresponding directional cosine, that is m, and z minus c divided by the 0. If you look out for that option, it's going to be in your option A. If you're not able to understand the question, you might simply eliminate some of the options which are given to you. You have to remember that the point through which it is going to pass should be present in the numerator. That is, my ABC should be present in the numerator and it should not be present in the denominator. In the denominator should be either directional ratios or directional cosines. You can see that your ABCs are present over here in the denominator, so obviously this is a wrong option. If you observe this one, this is also wrong, and correspondingly this is also wrong. So only right option which was remaining was this one. Moving on to the next one, we have equation of line which is passing through the point, and it is going to be parallel to this. These type of questions are commonly asked, wherein they will be giving you a line which is parallel to this given line. In that case, you have to understand that the directional ratios are going to be same, or if the directional cosines are given, then the directional cosines will be same. So basically whatever is going to be your required line should have the directional ratios as 3, -5 and -7. Now if you just go directly and mark the option A, then it would be a wrong option, because you also require that in the numerator part you should have the subtraction of the corresponding x, y, z terms. So once you have understood the numerator part, now these things has to be divided by the directional ratios, which are 3, -5 and -7. Now for this particular option to exist, it will be observed in option B only. So it is always advisable not to just look out for the directional ratios, but also to look out for what are the subtraction which is present. That is the difference of the variable xy with the corresponding point of intersection. Moving on to the next question. In this, we have to find the distance of the point of intersection of the line and the plane from this particular point. So whenever you have to find the intersection of a line and a plane, what you have to do is you have to consider the line equation which is in the symmetrical form. Let it be equal to lambda. So you will be getting the equation of x, which is equal to your lambda plus 3. Your y will be equal to a 4 plus 2 lambda, and z will be equal to a 5 plus 2 lambda. So in this, now what you have to do is you have to substitute the value of x, y, z in the equation of the plane. So you will be getting it as the lambdas will be present in lambda plus 2 lambda plus 2 lambda, so that's going to be a 5 lambda, and then your x, y, z's coefficient, that is a constant coefficients, the addition of it is 3 plus 4 plus 5, which is nothing but equal to 12. This thing will be equal to 2. So we'll be getting the lambda value as minus so we'll be getting the lambda value as a minus 10 by 5, which is minus 2. So if you just substitute this value in your x, y, z, you'll be getting the value of x as 1, your y as 0, and your z as 1. So your point of intersection basically is 1, 0, 1, and you have to find the distance of this point with this. So you have to use the normal distance formula, that is my x2 minus x1 square plus y2 minus y1 square plus z2 minus z1 square under root. So we'll be getting it as 3 minus 1, which is 2 square, plus 4 minus 0, that is 4 square, plus 5 minus 1, which is 4 square under root. So that's going to be the addition of 36, and root of that is going to be your option B. Moving on to the next one, the line which is given to us is parallel to the plane. So I have to find which of the plane is going to be parallel to this line. So you have to understand one thing, whenever you have to find such a thing, then in that case you have to consider the normal to that plane. The normal to the plane will be basically perpendicular to this line. So once we have understood that thing, now what we have to do is basically we have to multiply the coefficients of my plane with the directional ratios. If the product of the corresponding elements of my directional ratios of the line and the corresponding coefficients of my xyz in the plane equation, if that addition of the product is equal to 0, then that particular plane and the line are parallel to each other. So what I have to do is basically, let's go for the first one. It's going to be 3, which is the directional ratio of this, into 3 plus 4 into 4 and plus 5 into 5. So you can see this is not obviously going to be equal to 0. Next, you will be multiplying this corresponding, so that's 3 into 2 plus 4 into 3 plus 5 into 4. This again will not be equal to 0. The next one, which is 3 into 1 plus 4 into 1 plus 5 into minus 1, which also is not equal to 0. And the last one, you will be having a 3 into 2 plus 4 into 1 minus 2 into 5, which if you check it, is going to be equal to 0. So your option is D. Moving on to the next one, you have to find equation of the plane containing this line and the point. So since one of the point is given which has to lie on the plane, you can use it for elimination of the option. You require 0, 7, minus 7 on the plane. So if you just substitute in the first equation, you can see that you are not going to get it equal to 0. That means if you just substitute x as 0, y as 7 and z as minus 7, it won't satisfy this equation. If you check for B, it's going to satisfy the equation. So this is going to be one of the option. You can check it for this also, it's also again going to be an option. If you check for this one, it's not going to be the option. So you can just eliminate your A and D. So you have eliminated the two of them. Now moving on to the next one, you have to use the information which is given about the line. Now this line has also to lie on this plane. So what you have to do, you know that the points which are on the line is, one of the point is minus 1, 3 and minus 2. If you just substitute these values in any of them, and which will be satisfying that equation will be the right option. So if you just substitute it in this, you won't be getting that equation. But if you substitute in this, like minus 1 plus 3 minus 2, you will be getting it as 0. So that is why your correct option is C. So basic understanding of how the planes and endpoints interact with each other, how the planes interact with each other, you will be able to simply solve some of the problems. The understanding part is a bit complicated in this chapter, but the problems in this chapter are repetitive in nature. I would not be solving the formula based problems in this particular video. I'm just discussing overall what are the other different types of problems wherein you can apply simple tricks to solve that particular solution.